Hey, welcome back everyone. We are now getting closer to the end of April, and that means the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show's marketing is set to begin in just a short number of days. In fact, just a couple of days from now, we have new footage arriving for the Kenobi TV series, as well as a handful of promo images and more to promote the series before it debuts on May 27th. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, we are just weeks away from, of course, everything that's going to happen with the new Star Wars universe, such as the Star Wars Celebration event, which is going to be in May. That's going to unveil a lot of the new projects, be it TV shows, books, novels, comics, and video games, and more, that's really going to make up this new expanded universe. And also, next Star Wars Celebration after this one is going to have more reveals than this, because that's the overall game plan, is that they want to make Celebration and other events out there the source of unveiling all of these new TV shows that are indeed in the works by Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and George Lucas, which, by the way, they are trying their absolute best to find ways to really even out both Star Wars Legends and the already existing Disney canon material, and how they could really cater to all types of fans. You know, whether you're into, all of the Legends material, such as Shadows of the Empire, for a great example, or the Thrawn trilogy, that's exactly what they're taking notes from. So moving on from all of this, alright, it has been well over a year since Gina Carano was fired and let go from the Mandalorian series, and her role as Cara Dune was taken away from her in such a brutal way. I mean, let's be honest. But ever since then, there's been a lot of fans that left Disney Plus. They got rid of their accounts and they just called it quits on Star Wars. Those are the fans that Disney is trying to gain back. However, now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are focused on their new Star Wars universe, creators Jon and Dave Filoni are developing their new Star Wars TV shows and movies that will reshape Star Wars from the ground up. Now, it's described that recently, however, actress Rosario Dawson recently engaged in an interview where she was able to talk more about her role as Ahsoka Tano and her time working on set of The Mandalorian that eventually got on the subject of Gina Carano. Rosario Dawson went on to reveal to fans, "All I can say about Gina Carano is that she was such a wonderful person to be with. I really enjoyed her company, but the one thing that always bothered me as an actress was over the fact that Lucasfilm wanted to change her image constantly. They were never satisfied with the appearance of Cara Dune or Gina Carano personally for some reason, and even wanted Gina to do things like cut her own hair and maybe even slim down quite a bit for the overall character. Something that Gina did not agree with and got very offended over." Now let me just stop right there for 1 second of what Rosario Dawson's revealing here, is that basically they wanted Gina Carano to change her own image, to cut her own actual hair, to slim down more, to fit the role of Cara Dune in a different light. Now this, of course, dates back to The Mandalorian Season 1. But this is before Kathleen Kennedy had lost her creative power over the majority of the Star Wars projects. So she goes on to say, "All I know is that alone, of course, all of this led to tons of conflicts between both herself and others at Lucasfilm, and what really started everything from the very start. I'm not going to name names, but I can say it is true that there were many of Lucasfilm, of course, many of those associated with Lucasfilm, that tried to find every way possible to get Gina Carano fired from The Mandalorian. Very petty reasons, too, that I felt were so immature to the point where it made me question, is this the place for me? So I distanced myself from those like that at Lucasfilm. It was the proper thing to do." So Rosario Dawson is being very clear here that she doesn't really engage with those that had petty reasons to create as the source to fire Gina Carano. And I think that was a smart move on Rosario's part, on her part. I really do. I think that Rosario, given that, she is one of the big name characters of Ahsoka Tano, right? She has to work with pretty much everybody, and she knows everybody, the entire crew that works on these shows and such. For example, like the Book of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian crew. She knows everybody, So there were a lot of people that were really trying to create petty reasons to get Gina Carano fired, offset of the Mandalorian series as quick as possible. And, you know, at the end of the day, all right, we have seen this happen with other actors before in the past, and they came back no problem. Now, the whole Gina Carano rehired plan, as we have been talking about this, is moving along very well for Cara Dune to come back into The Mandalorian Season 4. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. However, she goes on to say, I don't like to take sides really, and I don't talk about this often, but I believe in when I'm at work. I am here to work. I am here to go over my lines, rehearse, film my takes, and call it a day, even if it takes me 16 hours a day. I am not going home with grudges over other people. I felt bad for Gina when she was let go from the show. I thought it was very cruel to fire somebody like that, and I'm not afraid to say that at all. I thought it was very cruel. Something else, of course, anything else, could have been done to have informed her. I will never forget that even some of the cast had to secretly take sides with Gina Carano. Again, I won't name names, but there were so many cast members that sided with Gina, and ones that I really cared for, and I do care for her, and calmed her down. I don't think she could have gotten through this without the support from the fans, without the support from the cast, and I think she's a very powerful and strong woman with a great heart. She made some mistakes on social media that was the deal breaker for Disney. Maybe that's why some of us actors shouldn't really get involved in social media too much and stay distant from all of that. I know I myself limit my usage on social media. I just keep it fun. I have not talked to Gina in quite a number of months now, but we had scenes planned out for each other for The Mandalorian Season 3, and even the Book of Boba Fett before she was let go from Lucasfilm. Now, let me just stop right here for 1 second, because this is a very important thing here, is the fact that you do have people out there like Rosario Dawson, who really has a lot of bravery to stand up for Gina Carano, to stand up for, you know, what is the right thing to say. And she herself even said there's a lot of the cast that actually took sides with Gina Carano in secret, and that she didn't want to name names. And I think that obviously one of them is Carl Weathers. He has shown his ongoing support for Gina Carano time and time again, freely, online, letting others know that. So I think that we can pretty much cross him off, that he was one of the secret cast members that supported Gina. I wouldn't be too surprised if there's a lot of people that we are very well aware of in the Mandalorian TV show, like the actors who played those characters, that are sided with Gina Carano. You know, I think that when you look at the film industry in and of itself, there's a lot of people that have to either take sides, or they just have to stick to their job and keep quiet and do their thing, and that's exactly what Rosario Dawson is trying to do. So far, guys, I think that, you know, everything has been going, you know, pretty well for the Mandoverse and for the new Star Wars universe in general. The Book of Boba Fett was, you know, a pretty minor speed bump in my opinion. It had quite a number of flaws in there, but that's not going to stop the motivation by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni and the momentum that they have with these new Star Wars TV shows that are all lined up throughout 2026. So we have a lot of things coming our way, just for starters, and they want to make sure that the 2020s are going to be packed with tons of shows and movies. So with that being said, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon.